Right now, somewhere in a hospital in the Netherlands, a scientist is watching a chimpanzee steal food from another chimpanzee. The chimp who stole it runs. It hides behind a tree. It eats quickly, watching over its shoulder. The researchers watching this call it guilt-like behavior. Avoidance, fear of punishment, but they are careful about what they do not call it. They do not call it shame, because shame is something different, something stranger, something that, as far as we can tell, only one species on this planet has ever had to carry: you. What shame actually is guilt, and shame feel similar. They are not. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am something bad. Guilt is about an action. Shame is about an identity. And that distinction, as small as it sounds, changes everything about what shame does to a body and why evolution built it in the first place. When you feel guilt, the feeling pushes you toward repair. Apologize. Fix it. Make it right. When you feel shame, the feeling pushes you inward. Hide. Disappear. Do not let anyone see. The physiological response is different too. Guilt raises your heart rate slightly. Shame drops your gaze, curls your posture, contracts your chest, and flushes your skin red. Blushing is involuntary. You cannot stop it. You cannot fake it convincingly. And it happens specifically, almost exclusively, in social situations where you believe someone else is judging you. Charles Darwin spent years studying blushing and called it the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. No other animal does it, not even our closest relatives. A chimpanzee can experience fear. It can experience frustration, grief, even something resembling jealousy. But a chimpanzee does not blush. The tribe. To understand why shame exists, you have to go back to what human life actually looked like for most of human history. You are living in a camp of 25 to 30 people. You have known every single one of them your entire life. Your grandmother sleeps a few feet from your children. There are no strangers. There are no walls. There is nowhere to go that is not visible to someone who knows your name. In that world, your reputation is not just a social concern. It is a survival mechanism. If the camp decides you cannot be trusted, if you take more than your share, if you lie about a kill, if you break a promise, the consequences are not a fine or a reprimand. The consequences are exile. And exile, in a world without antibiotics or agriculture or supermarkets, is a death sentence. Anthropologists who have studied modern hunter-gatherer groups like the Kung Bushmen of the Kalahari describe ostracism as the harshest punishment their society has. Not violence, not imprisonment. Being asked to leave, it almost never has to be used because the social monitoring never stops. Who took more than their share? Who told a good joke last week, which means they are trusted and clever? Who has been quiet, which might mean they are sick or hiding something? Every conversation is a calibration. Every story is a tool for keeping the camp in balance. Shame is what happens when that monitoring turns inward. When you do not need the camp to tell you that you have violated something, when your own body tells you first. Your face goes red before your mouth can explain itself. The mechanism. In 2007, a team of researchers at UC Berkeley published a study on the biology of shame. They asked participants to recall a moment of deep personal embarrassment. Then they watched what happened. The response was immediate and involuntary. Gaze dropped, head tilted down and to the side, shoulders curved inward, chest compressed. The body made itself smaller. They called it the shame display. And here's the part that matters. When they showed videos of people displaying shame to strangers, people who had no idea what the participant had done or why they felt ashamed, the strangers consistently rated the shame displayers as more trustworthy than people who showed no reaction. Shame signals. I know I violated something. I am aware of the rules. I am still a member of this group. It is not just a punishment, it is a credential. The person who can feel shame is announcing to the group, you can trust me to regulate myself. You do not need to exile me. I am already doing the work of the camp inside my own body. This is why shame evolved, not to torture you, to keep you inside the group at all costs. Because outside the group, your ancestors died. What shame does to the body. Chronic shame, the kind that does not resolve, the kind that stays, does something specific to the human body that no other emotion does in quite the same way. It activates the same biological stress response as physical threat. Cortisol rises, inflammatory markers increase. The immune system shifts into emergency mode. A 2014 study from Carnegie Mellon found that people who scored high on chronic shame had measurably higher levels of the inflammatory protein IL-6. The same protein elevated in people with serious autoimmune conditions. Shame is not just a feeling, it is an inflammatory event, and the body does not distinguish between the shame of being caught stealing in a Kung camp and the shame of sending an embarrassing email to the wrong person. Both trigger the same cascade. Both tell the immune system, we are under social threat. We may be about to be excluded. Your body still believes exclusion means death. It does not know about email. The strange loop. Here is what makes shame different from every other emotion. Most emotions are triggered by external events. Something happens. You feel it. Shame can be triggered by nothing, by a thought, by a memory, by imagining what someone might think if they knew something about you. You can feel shame for something that happened 30 years ago, something nobody else remembers, something nobody else even knows about. The camp is long gone. The audience is entirely imaginary. And the body responds exactly as if the elders are standing in front of you, deciding whether you stay or go. This is what researchers call the looking glass self, the way humans construct their identity by imagining how they appear to others. Not how they actually appear, how they imagine they appear. No other animal does this. A dog that has done something wrong responds to the owner's reaction. Remove the owner. Remove the reaction. The dog feels nothing. Remove the audience entirely from a human. Give them complete privacy. They can still feel shame. The audience is built into the architecture. The price? Shame kept your ancestors inside the group. Inside the group, they survived. But shame evolved for a world that no longer exists. A world where you knew every member of your audience personally. Where the group numbered 30, not 8 billion. Modern humans walk around carrying a shame response calibrated for a camp of 30 people and apply it to the entire internet. A single critical comment from a stranger in another country can trigger the same physiological cascade as being publicly accused by your entire tribe. The same gaze drop, the same postural collapse, the same inflammatory response. The body cannot tell the difference between the elder who controls your membership in the camp and the anonymous account on a screen. Both feel like exile. This is why public humiliation is so specifically devastating to humans, why online shaming spreads so fast and cuts so deep, why people lose sleep over what strangers think of them. You are not being oversensitive. You are running an ancient program in a world it was never designed for. What the Hadza do? Among the Hadza of northern Tanzania, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer groups on Earth, shame functions exactly as it evolved to function. When a hunter returns with a large kill, the camp does not celebrate. They mock it. They say the meat is poor, the kill was lucky, the animal was already dying before the arrow hit. The bigger the kill, the harder the mockery. This is not cruelty. This is precision social engineering. The mockery produces a specific kind of shame in the hunter, not the debilitating kind, but the calibrating kind. The kind that says, do not start believing you are above this group. Do not let your success make you dangerous. The hunter who can absorb that mockery, who can feel the pull of pride and let the camp deflate it, is demonstrating exactly what the group needs to see. I know my place here. I'm not a threat to equality. You can keep me. Shame, used this way, is not a wound. It is a tool for keeping 30 people alive together in conditions that would otherwise tear them apart in weeks. The chimpanzee hiding behind the tree knows it did something wrong. It is watching for punishment. It is calculating risk. But it does not imagine what the other chimpanzees think of it. It does not replay the moment before sleep. It does not carry the memory of the stolen food into next month and feel the heat rise in its chest when it remembers. It does not blush. You do. And the reason you do, the reason your body has a dedicated physiological response to the imagined judgment of others, is that your ancestors needed that response to survive. The camp was everything. Losing the camp was losing your life. You do not live in a camp of 30 people anymore, but your body still thinks you do. Every flush of red in your face is your nervous system checking in with a group that mostly no longer exists, trying to make sure you are still one of them. You are still trying to stay in the camp. You always will be.